What's going on, everyone? So, Drew Timme, somebody that I talked about, Lakers traded for with the G League affiliate. But Drew Timme is a guy that I think could make an impact on the main roster, maybe even as soon as this season, right? Depending on if the Lakers make a trade, which I do believe the Lakers will make a trade at some point. I could see Drew Timme kind of making that leap from G League into the main roster, or even on a two-way. I think there's even an argument right now, and I said this the moment we got him, which the Lakers were interested in him when the Brooklyn Nets ended up waiving him, but then they had the rights to him, and then Lakers ended up trading for those rights so they could retain him on the G League roster and then kind of keep him under the Lakers umbrella, which is great. But Drew Timme is a guy that, again, gives you that versatility and skills around and in versatile ways out on the basketball court. A guy that can make plays for himself, make plays for others. A guy that can kind of make plays out of the post, be a passer, right? You can run some offense through him at times. He's not like Sabonis or Jokic level, but he's a guy that can go and dish out a couple assists just throughout the course of the game, dump the ball down to him, and he can make reads and stuff. That has value. A guy that has shown the ability to stretch the floor. Definitely needs some work, but he's shown the ability to knock down the three ball. Guy that gives you just a different look from like a Christian Koloko, a Jackson Hayes. A guy that, honestly, I wouldn't mind if you waived Christian Koloko, brought Drew Timme up on a two-way, and then let him be in that two-way spot. And then you have kind of Nick Smith Jr., Chris Menon, and then Drew Timme as your two-way guys. All three guys I think can make an impact. All three guys I think you can make an argument for to make the main roster if the Lakers pull off a trade at some point. But sticking with Drew Timme, he's a guy that is just, he's absolutely balling in the G League, right? He's played a couple games already for the Lakers. And the guy's putting up like 34, 11, and 5 games and stuff like that. The guy's just been, he's better than the G League. Let's put it like that. The guy is clearly in far better than the G League. And again, he's 25 years old. Just turned 25 in September. So he's, yes, older, but he's still young enough. And the Lakers have had success with guys like that, coming in the league because they're more mature. They understand their role. They know their play. And you're not looking for him to come in and be your starter, right? You're looking for him to come in and just play a role for you, whether it's, as the primary backup or your third big, whatever. I like the idea of Drew Timme because he's a guy that gives you the versatility and a different look at bigs, right? Like you think of the 2020 team. You had Anthony Davis, you had Dwight Howard, you had JaVale McGee. You had different type of bigs and different type of skill sets based on specific matchup, right? So, hey, we can deploy this big against this team or this big against this team. So you got DeAndre Ayton, who's kind of your skill big that can do a little bit of everything. Jackson Hayes is your floor runner, high flying big man, right? Go bring in a Drew Timme. He can be kind of more of that playmaking, skilled big that can maybe even stretch the floor a little bit for you, right? Guys like that, you just have different looks that you can throw and deploy at teams to kind of just keep teams guessing. And, a guy that you could play maybe alongside of Jackson Hayes at times or play alongside of DeAndre Ayton at times, right? Just, again, gives you a guy that can hold his own and even had a good rookie season last year. He's a guy that in his first season with the Brooklyn Nets averaged 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, half a steal, and half a block, right? Like, again, he's not really known as like this like lockdown defensive player. So if you're looking for him to come in and just, be Victor Wembanyama out there, you're probably going to be a little disappointed. But that's why I'm saying as like a backup big who on a random night, a random Tuesday can fill in the starting role if need be. Say DeAndre Ayton gets the night off or whatever, is just dealing with some nagging thing. Boom, no problem. Put Drew Timme in there. You wouldn't really miss a beat, right? Defensively, DeAndre Ayton's athleticism and versatile defense, definitely you would miss. But talking about as far as like the actions on the offensive side of things and what you could do and run with, a Drew Timme, and even in some other areas that you can't, like Drew Timme, again, one of the kind of gems of him is his ability to make plays, his ability to make reads, kind of do, the 3 count and do some type of action, right? Like that I think has some value, but kind of go over the numbers real quick. Again, small sample size with the Brooklyn Nets, but 9 games played, 28.2 minutes per game, 2 games started. 11.3 field goal attempts. He was 44.1% from the field, and that's because he took 4 3-point attempts per game. So literally, 40% of his attempts were from 3-point range, where he shot 26%, which isn't great, but a couple things. One, again, showed the promise, showed the ability to stretch the floor on 4 attempts, so he's comfortable taking the 3. 2, big difference between the Brooklyn Nets last year and the Los Angeles Lakers this year with Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. The quality of looks, the type of opportunities that he would get aren't like, they didn't have like the playmaking level that Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves can bring, right? So you look at Drew Timme. I'm not saying he's going to be 50% from 3-point range or anything like that, but I do think he'll be much better than 26%. Like, he's been much better in the G League than that, but I'm saying, he's a guy that I could see kind of coming in, slotting in, running some pick and pop action. I mean, even a guy like Maxi Kleber, who, people were like, oh man, this is a guy that can really stretch the floor for us. He's like a career 34-35% guy. So if you can just get Drew Timme to 34-35% and his ability to stretch the floor, that would be fantastic. 2-point range, 7.4 attempts, shot 54% from the field, right? So really it's just 3-point shooting that knocked him down. Free throw percentage, 1.8 attempts, shot 62.5%. Needs to work on his free throws for sure. 7.2 rebounds, including 2 offensive rebounds, half a steal, half a block, and 12.1 points per game. If you look at his per 36, doesn't tell you everything, but kind of gives you an idea. 15.4 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, half a block per game. So again, Drew Timme, guy that I showed promise on the main roster for the Brooklyn Nets last season, and is showing real promise for the G League team, and just clearly better than everybody in the G League as far as the center position goes. Now, that doesn't always translate to the NBA level, but unlike many players in the G League, we actually have a sample size for Drew Timme on the main roster. Right now, Drew Timme, and again, very small sample size in the G League, but Drew Timme right now is averaging 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's almost a triple-double guy. 34. He's putting up Jokic numbers in the G League, right? So, again, if he can give us anything close to that, if he could be a 10, 5, and 3 guy in limited minutes for this Lakers team off the bench, that would be phenomenal. So, again, he's tearing up the G League. I think he's a guy that we should keep an eye on and maybe even bring on to the main roster as soon as this season. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.